Hello, hello. Welcome and thank you for being with us today on World Refugee Day. It's great to be here with such an amazing group in this virtual space as we share this moment in solidarity to honor the resilience of displaced people. We have communities from across the world joining us, from Nairobi, Islamabad, London, Minneapolis, New York, LA, and many places in between. Thank you all for being here. My name is Nadia Siddiqui, and I'm a global connector at the humanitarian organization Alight. And I'm part of a team that can bring you into the humanitarian sector to create impact in a meaningful and transformative way. There are 258 million people on the move around the world. That's 1 in every 30 humans on Earth. This includes refugees, asylum seekers, trafficked people, and migrants searching for a safe and hopeful future. Fragility is feeding much of the movement of people. Chronic famine and climate change, harmful militias, corrupt governments, extreme unemployment, and collapsed social services. Alight works with 3.5 million people in 19 countries across the world. When people are displaced from their homes, countries, or lives, Alight makes sure that they get the basic life-saving essentials they need, like water, shelter, and medical care. But we also know that these essentials don't make a life. A life is filled with joy, with connection, with purpose. And our aim is to help displaced people build meaningful and fulfilling lives. Alight is beyond excited to partner with Unify and join the Unify community to share this special experience, a moment to reflect and connect on World Refugee Day. And now I'd like to introduce you all to my co-MC, who has many gifts that he shares with the world, including teaching yoga and meditation practices. He's a storyteller and a Dharma artist, Zamir Donji. Zamir is also a humanitarian and has opened his heart in a really beautiful way to helping create impact in places like Syria and Yemen. I am grateful to have Zamir share this space with all of us as we honor the strong and resilient people who have been forced to flee their homes. Zamir, my friend, I'll pass it over to you to offer greetings to the group.
Thank you, Nadia, and I'm so glad to be here on behalf of Unify. Unify started in 2012 with the bold and brave vision of supporting world peace, realizing world peace. And what I love about Unify is that they see peace as not just an outside job, but it's an inside job as well. So it started with bringing people together to have synchronized action, interaction around meditation, and it's rippled out to so many other forms of action in the world, right? Seeing that peace is not something that's static, but it's something we have to live for, eat for, pray for, serve for, right? We have to be the peace to create peace in the world. And Unify has been doing this work for a number of years now, and it's allowed me to come into contact with organizations like you who are doing this amazing work. And I've been so excited to get to know Alight and to see that there is this evolving humanitarian ethos where we see refugees and displaced people with the same kind of understanding of the needs that we also feel in our lives, the needs for peace, the needs for connection, the needs for joy, for beauty, for purpose, right? Just because they have been displaced, it doesn't mean that they still don't have the deep yearnings that we all have beyond just the basic survival needs. And it really has touched my heart to see an organization that, really sees refugees and displaced people through those eyes. And I think it's so important how we treat refugees and displaced people, because it reflects whether we've really evolved in our consciousness, in our humanitarian ethos around the world. And I think it's one of the most important issues of our time, especially with the amount of war that's happening in the world, but also with climate change. We're going to see massive migrations of people. And as a result, the world is going to have to respond, right? And the place from which we respond is going to be so important as to whether we're actually able to keep peacefulness in the world, right? Or are we going to go in further division and chaos? So I was really excited to meet Alight, because I think this kind of vision is essential for what the world needs now. I'm really I'm really glad that we have a number of people today from the Alight team to be here as well. So we get to connect to the heart of this organization and hear their stories. So thank you so much for including me, and I'm excited to see what we have to share here today.
Thank you for those reflections, Amir. For us at Alight, today is about honoring the abundance of displaced people everywhere and really stopping and seeing them in the way they see themselves as individuals with incredible gifts to share and with their communities in the world. So now I'd like to introduce you to my incredible teammate, Deus Kiwanuka, Alight's Global Protection Advisor. Deus leads Alight's protection teams around the world. Many displaced people have experienced violence and trauma in the course of their journeys, and Deus's teams work to prevent future violence and create safe spaces for healing from past trauma. From the very start, our protection teams do their work in close collaboration and partnership with the communities we serve. Welcome, Deus.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, everyone, for joining this event. At Alight, we see abundance in the face of scarcity. Today, especially, we honor and celebrate the abundance and the resilience of displaced people around the world. And when it comes to the trauma they have experienced, we believe these communities already know what it takes to heal themselves. Emergencies can create significant psychosocial stress. Even once people have reached safety, they often still feel stress and hardships because of their living conditions. And as you know, loss is very personal, and individuals within the community of displaced people can often experience and respond to pain, disruption, and violence in significantly different ways. The good news is communities already have structures that regulate community well-being, although we know that many of them have been tested and perhaps weakened in the process of displacement. At Alight, it's our job to connect and help repair and strengthen the community-based structures and networks, assisting communities to heal by themselves using their own cultural protection measures is the most effective and sustainable thing that our teams can do to support vulnerable individuals experiencing social and psychological distress. We also know that all affected groups of people have assets or resources that can support mental and psychosocial well-being. At the beginning of the onset of any emergency, Alight builds local capacities, supports self-help, and strengthens the resources that are already present. The more we can find and reinforce solutions from within, the better for individuals and the community. Our team helps people trace and reunify with the families they have been separated from. We support communities to mourn and heal together through traditional ceremonies that hold deep meaning for them. And we provide information and support on healthy and constructive coping strategies, all in a safe space with the support and guidance of the community. Looking ahead can also be an important part of healing. Within community structures and mechanisms, we ensure unaccompanied children are placed with the foster families and that parents have the support they need. When they are ready, we engage individuals in livelihood and education opportunities, and we activate and boost social networks like youth clubs, women and girl-friendly spaces where survivors can share their experiences and support each other to heal and grow. Our teams are here to inspire and unleash the abundance in every human being, and we unlock that potential when we give them the opportunity to come in, to use their gifts and the deep knowledge of their community to provide the healing support that people need to rebuild a meaningful life. I thank you all for joining us today as we celebrate the World Refugee Day and as we honor the resilience of the communities we serve around the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deus. And thank you again for being here and for the incredible lift that you and our protection teams are doing to serve the communities that we work alongside. For World Refugee Day, we asked our global community of staff about the idea of shared humanity and to reflect on what it means to them. Here is a video for us to hear what they had to share.
Today I'm going to talk about Ubuntu, and I'm sure you're wondering, what is Ubuntu? Ubuntu is a Zulu word which means humanity in English, and in Shona it means Wunu, just being human.
The services that you give to people, are they reliable? Can you expect the same services from the person?
But it is about treating each other as human beings. By treating each other with love, respect, and care, and providing each other helping hand in the time of need.
It means love, peace, truth, and happiness.
That every single person has the chance to live his or her life to the fullest.
Shared humanity to me means being conscious that the person that I have in front of me or the person who is miles away from me is as human as I am, that has feelings, that has emotions, that has dreams just like I do, is being more empathetic and understanding that there is a connection among all of us.
We all are one in this diverse world as a human being.
Treating other people the same way that you would love to be treated.
Although we come from different countries, speak different languages, and follow different religions, we all are human beings, and our shared humanity is the thing we have in common.
Shared humanity, it's celebrating the success and sharing the distress.
Having a feeling, having a sense of putting yourself in a position of others, using empathy around with the people you interact with.
Shared humanity mindset had really helped me in relating with others who are from different background as me, who have different religion than me.
For me, it means that each human deserves respect and compassion just because they are human.
Deep down, we're all alike and we all share our humanity.
So I'm sending you greetings from Busasamana, and I hope if Corona goes away, we may see each other one day. Ubuntu to the whole world. Big hug.
That was beautiful. Thank you to all of these Alight staff for offering your firsthand insight on what shared humanity or Ubuntu means. Being human, treating each other with love and respect, knowing there is connection through all of us, empathy, being united by our shared humanity. This is all so powerful, so thank you. And now it is my honor to introduce Zainab Abdi. Zainab is an incredible young woman, deeply passionate and committed to creating positive change. A refugee herself, Zainab has worked to educate communities about the refugee experience through storytelling and building bridges. She has presented issues to Congress, focusing on mobilizing change in Yemen. And through the Malala Fund, Zainab has advocated for girls' education at the UN. She was also featured in Malala's new book, We Are Displaced. During her 6 years in the US, Zainab not only managed to be an outstanding student with highest honors, but she has also impacted hundreds of kids through her work in civic engagement, advocacy, and mentorship. And this fall, she'll start on her master's at Columbia University in New York, where she will continue her work in international development to change her own community and the world. And Zainab has graciously offered to share her personal reflections on shared humanity through her own experience with displacement. Zainab, welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Zainab. I am a refugee from Yemen. I grew up in a very simple, beautiful neighborhood back home in Yemen. One thing I remember about my neighborhood is the importance of togetherness that everyone valued. We lived together, shared our happiness, and shared our sadness together. My grandma helped a lot of displaced refugees in Yemen who came from East Africa and other places. She welcomed them to our home. She gave them a warm meal, even though we didn't have enough. But her heart was bigger than the plate that she shared with others. Her love for giving others, welcoming everyone, and sharing her life with others helped me to understand her ethics and Islamic moral value around loving others the way you love yourself. My grandma left this world at the end of 2010, and shortly after that, the Arab Spring started, where everything became so disrupted, and we became displaced refugees as well. We had to run for a safe place. I knew how many souls, places, and memories we lost due to this displacement and conflict. Yet I didn't want this to be the only story of mine. I wanted to be able to continue my education, to learn, so I could rebuild my community and the world as well. I was able to make it safely to the United States of America, but I left my younger sister behind me, who was not able to get a visa to come to the United States, and she had to select a different journey. My education and my energy were all for those people I left behind, my family, my neighbors, my community, the displaced community around the world. They always told me to keep going when things got harder. I was able to graduate high school with 4.0 GPA, college with 3 degrees and highest honors and honor society, and now getting my master's degree at Columbia University in New York. All this success and achievement, I never did it alone. I always met people along the way who wanted to support me, mentor me, and guide me, and be there for me. They saw the passion and resilience in me, and I saw my grandma's soul in them. The soul that gave and loved everyone without distinction. The soul that knew that our humanity is greater than other things in the world. In honor of the World Refugee Day, I asked the audience to commit to the everyday practice of setting simple yet a powerful intentions of strengthening our shared humanity by welcoming everyone to your life, to your community. My grandmother and my mentors and the people I met throughout my journey knew what it means to love someone the way you love yourself. And I'm excited to join them in this journey by bringing my knowledge in serving others under our shared umbrella of love and compassion. We need to continue unleashing more abundance in the world. And we can't do this alone. We need to do this together because we are all one family and our family needs to be together always. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Zainab. It was really touching to hear some of the words that you said, which is, some of the things I took from that is, what it feels like to love someone as much as we love ourselves. And I feel that really connects to this whole concept of Ubuntu. I heard Ubuntu translated as I am what I am because we are, that I'm here because you're here. There's this universal recognition in all religious and spiritual teachings that we're interconnected. And I was reflecting the other day of what it is that makes me feel alight, right? What brings me alight? What brings me a sense of joy and aliveness? And so often it's when I serve another person. And it's often a small thing, but just when I give something to someone else, and I realize that it's because, in a way, some part of my deeper essence knows that that other is also part of me. Like in giving to them, I'm growing my soul, I'm growing myself. And, you know, it's something to rethink around this reality of how do we, when we reach out and support others in times of need, yes, we're doing it for them, but we're doing it for ourselves and we're doing it for the world, that it uplifts us and it enriches us. And this spirit of the gift is something that I feel heals the hearts of humanity that are suffering from this experience of disconnection and separation. So many, especially in a modernized and capitalized culture, you know, we need to be able to understand and empathize with the plight of people across the world and feel that we can connect and give to them. And this enriches and uplifts our own lives. So thank you so much for sharing your story and doing your work and just speaking the simple message of love and compassion. And it's something I'm so glad that Unify stands for, is bringing us together in meditation, and that through mindfulness and through cultivating a sense of calm, we can bring daily acts of compassion. You know, when we are connected to ourselves, it's more natural to reach out and be connected to others, right? When we find a place of inner peace and calm, we're not going to spread violence in the world. We're not going to spread hatred. If we see others in need, it'll be easy and natural for us to give, even without any religious confines, just because we're connected to our hearts. And I'm really glad that later on in the program today, we're going to be led in a meditation by Oben from the Nakavali refugee camp. I feel like, you know, we're in an inflection point as a human race. The pressures on us are becoming immense, and we're in a time where there's so much distraction. We're getting pulled in so many directions, and as a result, we're often forgetting to pay attention to the things that matter. You know, these kind of stories, these realities of what's happening to our brothers and sisters around the world, these are what are really important, right? It's not all the viral videos, it's not all the, you know, distracting sexy things that we're presented in the world. What it is that is going to make us feel connected to life and connected to humanity is reaching out and hearing the stories of others in need and finding ways to be able to respond to them. So I think it's so important that we're here today listening to these stories. We don't get to hear your stories. We don't get to hear the stories of people in refugee camps. So we don't even remember that they exist because our news feeds are so bombarded with random ads for things and cat videos. And I mean, yes, they bring a little bit of joy, but I'm so glad that we're here really, really connecting to the voices and reality and hearts of people around the world that otherwise we might just, you know, hear in a passing, you know, news article. So I'm excited for everybody who's on the broadcast today, because we're really meeting people who are in here and doing this work. And the next person that is going to be introduced, his name is Valerie, and Valerie Namuto, and he's a field operations manager for the Eastern Congo Initiative of Alight. And when he's not coordinating the operations of the healthcare and clean social water enterprise, his passion is to play the piano. And, you know, it's so important that we follow our passions. And it's a real gift when an artist is able to draw down inspiration so that they can open the hearts of those around them, to open them to a creative imagination or a vision of possibility. And what's amazing about Valerie is that he's a self-taught pianist and he's a beautiful composer. So he didn't go, and he wasn't able to even afford the opportunity to go to a school to train in classical piano. But what it shows is that music lives in all of us. And so he composed this piece specifically for World Refugee Day to represent and reflect our shared humanity. So what you're going to hear now is an artist who opened himself to the message of Ubuntu, to the spirit of interconnectedness. And this is the energy, this is the musical notes and the mood that he received to bring us into this place together. So without further ado, we're going to hear the composition from Valerie for this World Refugee Day. Thank you, Valerie, for that beautiful piece. You know, I felt this exquisite blend of sadness and joy. You know, as I was listening to it, I remembered this poem. It's kind of an abridged poem from the peace activist Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a mindfulness teacher, but also was nominated for the Nobel World Peace Prize. And he was around also and a friend of Martin Luther King. And in the words of this poem, he said, "My joy is like spring, so warm. It makes flowers bloom all over the earth. My pain is like a river of tears, so vast it fills the four oceans. Please call me by my true names, so that I can hear my cries and laughter is one, so I can feel my joy and pain at once. Please call me by my true names, so that I can wake up, so that the doors of my heart can be left open. And I just really felt that poem as I heard that song, and that's so much I wonder if it's from the work that Valerie's been doing on the ground and seeing just the joy and sadness of reality, of life. And so much of Thich Nhat Hanh's work is to say, you know, we're in everybody, that joy and sadness lives in all of us. And it's something exquisite to feel both of it, to feel all of it. I feel that's so much the challenge of opening our hearts to the reality of displacement and refugees, the willingness to feel the sadness and also to see the joy and possibility. It really stretches us. So now I'm pleased to introduce the person who's going to lead our World Refugee meditation today, Aben Ruankuba. Aben himself, he's a refugee, and he fled his home in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And he knows that recovery from trauma is not just psychological. He believes that humans need physical and spiritual and community to heal. You know, this subject of trauma is so prescient at the time that we're in today. We've almost just gone under a collective initiation with COVID around the world. The entire planet has experienced almost like a collective trauma of what we've gone through. We know what it's like to go through this. I myself have been a student of Dr. Gabor Mate and practice somatic psychotherapy and work with people on a day-to-day basis to address issues rooted in trauma. And so much of it is in our body. You know, there's a saying that the issues are in the tissues, right? That we need to feel in order to heal. And so the fact that Aben leads movement to heal and also brings in the psychological and meditative is so important, because being a refugee and being a displaced person can be a tremendously traumatic experience, right? Because it affects our deepest basic human needs, our need for safety, our need for connection. And when those are compromised, we need support to be able to work through those. And we also need the support of others around us who are doing the same work as well. So I'm really glad that Aben is here doing this work in the refugee communities, having done it for himself and for others. And Nadia, I know that you've spent time in Nakivale. Will you take it from here and tell us about that?
Yes. So yeah, I was in Nakivale 2 years ago today on World Refugee Day. In fact, there's a number of people who are joining us today, other humanitarians who have spent past years honoring this day in Nakivale. And so for anybody that hasn't been there, Nakivale Refugee Settlement is in southwestern Uganda, and it's one of the oldest and largest refugee settlements in the world. It was established in the 1950s and is home to over 130,000 people from 13 nations. And Aben is a resident of Nakivale, and he's led classes with all ages in yoga, meditation, and dance over the last 6 years. He is the founder of Join the Moves, which brings communities in Nakivale together for physical expression. And Aben is hopeful that one day he'll be able to bring the intention of healing nature through mindful movements to displaced communities around the entire world. But for today, he is sharing his gift with all of us and guiding us through a simple meditation. But before Aben starts the meditation, we have a video to share with all of you that our friends at TO Creative Activists have made to help us introduce Aben.
A lot of people here, they thought the refugee can do anything. They thought refugee, they are like poor, they are jobless, hopeless. No, just our vision and mission is to change that perception of refugee. Our project Join the Moves, where people use their body as a message to express and to heal. For me, I can call it a group. I cannot call it just a project, no, just it's a family. What I believe it's like body to body is very easy to express, to talk to each other. our mission and vision is to create a peaceful and loving community. Our yoga is going to bring all those nationalities to be together. Most of people, they take trauma as a mental problem. Just for us, it's not like that. We have to change that.
Abin, I'm going to pass it over to you and let you lead our meditation. Thank you again for being here and for sharing your gifts with all of us today.
Yes, thank you. So let us sit as a comfortable, look for the place where you can sit comfortably, so easy. You can sit in lotus, so you can sit wherever, or you can lay down, so don't mind. So you can sit everywhere you feel comfortable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to one type of meditation. I know most of you know more type of meditation. There are 7. So we are going to talk only one, that's mantra meditation. So easily, gently, I'll suggest you guys to close your eyes. So also it's fine, you can remain eyes open. So also it's fine if you feel comfortable, but you can close your eyes, and we are going to ask ourselves 4 questions. And the first question is, who am I? So just ask yourself, your inner, ask your soul, just put a question in your mind. So ask yourself, who am I? We all know the I is a common word that we use always, like I'm hungry, I'm happy, I'm not happy, we always use that I all the time. So we mean the I is connected to some feelings, it's connected to something into our soul. So let's ask ourselves as we are closing our eyes, who am I? And keep that question into your soul. So even if you don't get any response, don't mind. Yeah, as long as I know the infinity and the universe will respond, as long as you do this meditation. So, and the second question is, what do I want? We always ask ourselves, what do I want? I want this type of life. I want this business. I want this successful, relationship. I want just to be stable in my life. So just ask yourself, what do I want? That's the second question. And the third question is, what is the purpose for me into this life? Ask yourself. Like, what is the thing that I do to help myself, also to help other people? Like the reason why you are here on this earth. So let me come again. So if you don't get any response, do not complain. So as long as you be flowing with your breath, when you inhale and you exhale, don't mind. I know the universe and the infinity will respond. And the fourth, our last question is, what am I grateful for? There it's come to gratitude. So those are our 4 questions. We have, who am I? What do I want? Yeah, what is the purpose for me into this life? And what how am I grateful for this life, into this life, when it's come to gratitude? So we are going to meditate. So I'm going to keep quiet for 10 minutes. But the mantra that we are going to use is So Ham. So means I am. Ham means that. So don't mind about the definition of that So Ham. That will be the objective of our intention. So when you breathe in by your nose, you just say so. When you breathe out by your mouth, you say ham. But without opening your mouth, just keep on saying into your mind, just inside. Don't say it loudly. So when you in, so, and out,
but we're now talking just in you. And remember the 4 questions. So now let's do it for 10 minutes. Just relax you. I know you've already relaxed you from the toes to the head. Now you can go for 10 minutes. Yeah, so gently before open our eyes, let us take a deep breath in and out. And then let us do it for 3 times. As long as you our eyes, let's breathe in by our nose and out. In and out. Last one, in and out. Then gently, slowly open your eyes. Yeah, and relax your shoulder, your chest, your back, your fingertips, your thigh, your knee, your toes. Yeah, namaste. Yeah.
Thank you, Aben, brother, for that beautiful meditation that you guided. You know, since I'm in a privileged position in the broadcast, I'm going to share what the 4 answers came to me when those questions were asked at the beginning. Who am I? There was no answer. There was just a knowing. And then the question of what is it that I want? And it was peace. And then what do I want to give? And it was joy. And what am I grateful for? It was love. They just came like that. And it's just so amazing that the things that we want to receive and the things that we want to give are free. They're within us, right? That this peace is an inside job. And these are things that are universal to humanity. And so wonderful that meditation is a practice that gets beneath the surface of all these things of what we think we are or what we think we want that drive our lives and bring us into places of stress or maybe inauthenticity. And we find deep inside what we all want are really the fundamental things of human life, right? We're all entitled to that. What I love that video that was shared of Aban's work was 2 things, 2 stigmas that I think need to be broken. One is the stigma around a refugee being like a poor person or incapable person, and recognizing that they have the same intelligence, same capacity that any human has. They've just been dealt a really tough hand. So all the more reason to provide them the opportunities and support to create the most of their life and situation. And why is that? Well, I think it's connected to this notion of healing trauma. There's Leonard Cohen says, ring the bells that still can ring. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in, right? Rumi teaches that the wound is the source of the gift, right? In Japan, there's a pottery form called kintsugi. And whenever there's a crack in a piece of pottery, they fill it with gold. And they say that something that has been cracked, if repaired in a beautiful way, makes it stronger than what it was before. Right? So undergoing this trauma is just an opportunity through healing to make one even stronger, even more capable to meet the challenges of life and actually see and have compassion for the needs of others. If we provided this for more displaced people and refugees, they could actually be a tremendous gift and boon to their communities and to when they go back to their home countries. So what an opportunity to be able to support and give, knowing that the medicine that's needed is already within those camps and in those communities. And if we just empower it, they're going to spread that medicine and that possibility. So Aban, thank you for reflecting that. Right? It was a beautiful meditation. And I'm really grateful that I was able to be a part of it. Thanks again, everyone, for joining here today. I'm going to be signing off soon and handing it over to Nadia. It's been wonderful to celebrate World Refugee Day. And before I say goodbye, I want to invite all of you to join me and Unify again tomorrow for World Yoga Day. So isn't that a wonderful synchronicity that, we're kind of feeding in here from World Refugee Day through the meditation into World Yoga Day. And we're going to share a little video that we put together on the heart of yoga. So this is for you for World Yoga Day tomorrow. Since the beginning of time, humans have looked into the sky and wondered, who am I? Why am I here? What is this existence? The first yogis and meditators were the ones who turned inwards in search of these answers. And what they discovered was a reality so profound and subtle that their vision of life was transformed. These mystic yogis experienced the divine. They saw all of life as a unity in diversity, kept in balance by cosmic laws and connected by a source of consciousness. Their teachings became the spiritual paths that guide seekers to have this experience for themselves, reminding us that the truth we seek is within us, and that learning to live in harmony and wisdom is the journey of every soul. On June 21st, join us for World Yoga Day in an online yoga experience where you meet teachers and fellow seekers that deepen your connection to spirit, offering creativity, consciousness, and education for the soul. Explore different aspects of yoga as a mystical science that supports you on the journey within. So that's for those of you who will join us for World Yoga Day tomorrow. It's going to be at 1 p.m. and you can check through the Unify Facebook group. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much again, Nadia, for co-hosting with me today. I'm wonderfully grateful to be connected to the Alight team, to have met everybody out here, and I look forward to more work together. Thank you.
So Mary, thank you for being here and for being a guiding anchor in our time together and for sharing with us about World Yoga Day tomorrow. I hope that I'll be there, but this time as a participant. Thank you to everyone else who's been here to share your time, your stories, talents, and gifts. It's been a difficult 18 months not being able to connect in person in a way we would all like. But events like this, where we can bring together people from across the globe in recognition of our shared humanity, are such a bright spot for all of us. Thank you, Unify, for your partnership in making today's World Refugee Day event happen. We're so grateful that you've joined us in spotlighting the resilience of displaced people. I would love for all of you to stay in touch with the light. And if you want to be part of a different kind of humanitarian ethos, I hope you'll join us and make a donation to our Changemakers 365 program today. Changemakers 365 is how we do the doable in the face of some of the world's toughest challenges. Each and every day, our team completes one small project that will make a big difference, never costing more than $500. The ideas come directly from the communities we work alongside and what they tell us they need, rather than someone else who sits far away at a desk being the one to say what they think is needed. It is also a new way of thinking and seeing that you can create big impact with small amounts. From creating a girl's closet at a school with changes of clothing and reusable sanitary pad kits for only $17 each, girls can feel confident and never feel that they need to miss a week of learning every single month. To outfitting Aubin with yoga mats for $20 each so he can lead free community classes and meditations in Naki Valley. Changemakers 365 creates bright spots in displaced spaces and amplifies communities through an ultra-human-centered approach. If you'd like to join us and support daily change and impact, visit wearealight.org/refugee day. And please, please, please reach out to me if you would like to talk more about how you can continue your humanitarian journey with Alight. My email is nadias@wearealight.org. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us on World Refugee Day and for putting your energy and intention into the world in support of displaced communities and for keeping the world alight.
Ona makambo e, ona makambo e, ona makambo e.